Hi, I'm Jim Rowley. Welcome to my contribution to this year's Gloucester Folk Trail. I want to start by saying thank you to Danny and the team and to Gloucester Bid for getting something going in this strange time. And as you can see, I'm sat outside the Turk's Head Inn. Well, not really. But the Turk's Head Inn has been a great venue to play at. I played in the last couple of folk trails with the band I play in, Blackthorn Buskers, and we've had a great time. Always been well received. It's such a shame to see this and the other venues all shut. But there we are. Hopefully we can all be back together soon. Here's my first song. It's called Big Night in a Small Town. Billy combs his hair, he straightens his tie, he meets Eddie on the corner, got that glint in his eye. They pick up Joe from the Garden of Delight, he only comes for the biz, he never stays for the fight. It's a big night in a small town, boys on the loose and the girls, all the girls, all the girls trying to tie them down. Gina's dressed to kill in her sister's shoes. Mandy's on the rebound, she got nothing to lose. Emma's got the vodka stashed in a bag. She touches up her lippy and she stamps out her fag. It's a big night in a small town, boys on the loose and the girls, all the girls, all the girls trying to tie them down. Jaeger bombs and chasers down at the pub, getting near closing so it's on to a club. Boys and girls, they got the same thing on their mind. Want a bit of How's Your Father, want a bit of bump and grind. It's a big night in a small town, boys on the loose and the girls, all the girls, all the girls trying to tie them down. Billy and Gina standing freezing in the dark. Eddie and Mandy do the dirty in the park. Emma and Joe, they don't even speak, thinking about tomorrow and another working week. It's been a big night in a small town, boys on the loose and the girls, all the girls, all the girls trying to tie them down. It's been a big night in a small town, boys on the loose and the girls, all the girls, all the girls trying to tie them down. This next song is a song about growing old. The thing is, when you start growing old, everyone around you is growing old, and I suppose especially it applies to the generations above us. It's called Skin and Bone. I said I'd carry you, I said I'd carry you, I said I'd carry you when you couldn't walk no more, when skin and bone let you down, skin and bone. I said I'd set you free, I said I'd set you free, I said I'd set you free from the burden that you bore, when skin and bone let you down, skin and bone. I was not ready, I was not ready, I was not ready when you heard the trumpet call, when skin and bone let you down, skin and bone. They say what don't kill you makes you strong. I'm telling you they're wrong, so wrong. For you treasure it fades so fast. The mind's still willing, but that flesh don't last. I said I'd raise you up. I said I'd raise you up. I said I'd raise you up if you fell down to your knees. But skin and bone have let me down, skin and bone. I am not ready. I am not ready. I am not ready. I'm also a bit worried about singing this next song because it implies that the good women of Swansea are profligate with their affections. It's not really about that though. What it is about is my abject failure as a young man in all my attempts to have a misspent youth. This is called Swansea Girls. Swansea girls are easy, everybody knows. Swansea girls aren't choosy, so the story goes. Saturday night on Wine Street, in my Sunday best. Week in, week out, I put it to the test. Swansea girls have heard it all before, the tired old refrain. Swansea girls know the score, they won't get fooled again. In the top rank and Cinderella's, trying to get some wild oats sown. All my best lines fell on deaf ears, I walked home alone. Swansea girls play fast and loose, gotta catch 'em while you can. Swansea girls play you for a fool, they leave you a broken man. And walking down the Kingsway, I can't help but reminisce. And I wonder who they're kissing, all those lips I never kissed. Swansea girls are easy, everybody knows. Swansea girls aren't choosy, so the story goes. Saturday night on Wine Street, in my Sunday best. Week in, week out, I laid that lie to rest. This next song is about the power of a cup of tea, perhaps. I read this story of there were some far-right protesters outside a mosque, and what the people inside the mosque did, since it was a rainy day, was bring them out tea and biscuits. And I thought that was such a fantastic reaction. So a little act of kindness like that, I think, can be tremendously powerful. This song is called A Stranger No More. You ain't from round here, that's plain to see. From the clothes you wear, the way you speak, Yes, come in, pull up a chair. I'll take your coat, you can sit anywhere. Kettle's on, I'll close the door, have a cup of tea and be a stranger no more. My grandfather came here when times were hard, carrying only his tools and his union card. Now you've arrived from God knows where, and only he knows what you've seen and heard. So tell me what you can, tell me what you're able. You'll find no judge sits at this table. Make yourself at home while I pour. Tell me your story and be a stranger no more. We aren't so different, me and you. The frost chills our bones, the rain wets us through. We want best for our kids, we cry when they cry. We share the same dreams, like we share the same sky. So as for those who divide and rule, a cup of tea shows we're not fooled. Stand together, whatever's in store. So count on me and be a stranger no more. This next song's about a girl I used to know. When I left South Wales and went to London to university, I met a girl. And it turned out we were from slightly different backgrounds. I was from a one-parent family in a council house in South Wales, whereas her father was the British ambassador to some Middle Eastern country. It might surprise you to learn it didn't work out. It's called Know Your Limits. You're going to write a song about a girl who dumped you? It ought to be the blues. You gotta know your limit, don't you punch above your weight. You gotta know your limit, don't punch above your weight. Listen to me, people, let me put you straight. Well, I knew a girl from the right side of the tracks. She looked just like an angel, they say opposites attract. She was raised on milk and honey every day. I was raised on second helpings, a sweet FA. You gotta know your limit, don't you punch above your weight. You gotta know your limit, don't punch above your weight. Girl had class, I was living on the welfare state. Well, she showed me to her friends, all they did was laugh. She showed me to her parents and they prayed it wouldn't last. She showed me up in public, she brought tears to my eyes. 'Cause she was on the gravy train, she fed me humble pie. You gotta know your limit, don't you punch above your weight. You gotta know your limit, don't punch above your weight. You can satisfy her, she's gonna call you second rate. Well, my mother always told me you gotta play the cards you dealt. Well, that girl held all the aces, I had to tighten my belt. I took her to fancy restaurants, bought her champagne and cake. But when I tried to give her sausage, she said she wanted steak. You gotta know your limit, don't you punch above your weight. You gotta know your limit, don't punch above your weight. One day you'll come home early, find another man eating from your plate. This next song is called Cash in Hand, or in brackets, Frank on the Lump. It's about my Uncle Frank. My Uncle Frank was the first in my family to come over to this country to work on the building trade in the 1950s, which was known as the lump. And it was hard work, and it was full of young Irishmen coming over who thought they would make their fortune, and sadly it didn't work out, and it didn't work out for my Uncle Frank. So this is called Cash in Hand. Cash in hand and no questions. It's up till Friday so you can pay the rent, hand to mouth and no prospects. But the pints in the Crown on a Saturday were heaven sent. Frank came to Cricklewood in 1952, leaving Slaney Shore for good. But the sign said no blacks, no dogs, no Irish. Frank learned where he stood for cash in hand and no questions. It's up till Friday so you can pay the rent, hand to mouth and no prospects. But the pints in the Crown on a Saturday were heaven sent. Frank in the freezing morning rain, trying to catch the ganger's eye. Stand him a double if you see him in the pub. You gotta keep that bastard on your side. For cash in hand and no questions. It's up till Friday so you can pay the rent, hand to mouth and no prospects. But the pints in the Crown on a Saturday were heaven sent. Carries the hod, he pours cement, spends his life in a mud-filled ditch. But Joe Corral and Arthur Guinness, they're the only ones getting rich on cash in hand and no questions. It's up till Friday so you can pay the rent, hand to mouth and no prospects. But the pints in the Crown on a Saturday were heaven sent. The work gets harder as the years go by, thankless toil without respite, till the aches and pains don't go away when he falls into bed at night. And always, always that dream of going home, pockets full of money, build a house on Slaney Shore. Walk down the town, see your friends along the way. The alarm clock sounds, it's another working day for cash in hand and no questions. It's up till Friday so you can pay the rent, hand to mouth and no prospects. But the pints in the Crown on a Saturday were heaven sent. Life on the lump demands a heavy price. One day Frank, he could pay no more. So we carried his body across the sea, laid him to rest on Slaney Shore. cash in hand and no prospects, cash in hand and no prospects, cash in hand and no prospects. Okay, time for my last one. This one was written after I heard somebody on Thought for the Day say that he had no idea what heaven was like, but he rather hoped it was like ending up at the perfect English country pub at the end of a long, hard working day. Now that idea of heaven being a pub kind of appealed to me. Can't think why, but it took me some time, but after a while that idea led to this song. It's called The Traveller's Rest. Sit in the bar of the Traveller's Rest when all my work is done. Gonna raise a glass of the very best and drink to the setting of the sun. When you come to the end of this dark and weary road, light still shines through the gloom. Along a straight path through a narrow door you'll find a pub with many rooms. And there's always a seat by the fireside, always a friendly face, always someone wants to buy you a drink, ask you how you ran the race. Gonna sit in the bar of the Traveller's Rest when all my work is done. Gonna raise a glass of the very best and drink to the setting of the sun. Now the landlord, he's a fair old man, some might find him hard, but if you play by the rules and you stand your ground, know that you'll never be barred. And he'll keep your glass filled to the brim from barrels that never run dry. And he's already paid your bill, you'll never call closing time. Gonna sit in the bar of the Traveller's Rest when all my work is done. Gonna raise a glass of the very best and drink to the setting of the sun. Now I know there's friends and there's family took that road before, waiting to make me feel at home soon as I walk through the door. And as for you good people here, take your time and enjoy the ride. I'll get them in, there'll be a pint or two waiting for you when you arrive. And we can sit in the bar of the Traveller's Rest when all our work is done. We can raise a glass of the very best and drink to the setting of the sun. We can sit in the bar of the Traveller's Rest when all our work is done. We can raise a glass of the very best and drink to the setting of the sun. Well, thank you for listening, and thanks again to Danny and the team and to Gloucester Bid for setting this up. It's been strange this year, but let's hope it won't be long before we can all see each other face to face again. Thank you again.